You read the video title? Let's dive right into it. The President's Curse, U.S. presidents elected in years ending in zero. You see, there's this strange pattern in U.S. history. Every president elected in a year ending in zero has, tragically, died in office. Yeah, every single one. It started with William Henry Harrison in 1840, who, after just 31 days in office, died from pneumonia. Then came Abraham Lincoln, who, in 1860, became president, and, well, we all know how that ended. And then, fast forward to JFK in 1960. He was assassinated in office too. The numbers are a bit too freaky to ignore. Is it just a spooky coincidence? Or could there be something more sinister at play? The Battle of Pelusium in 525 BC. Let's go back to 525 BC. The Battle of Pelusium, where the Persians, under Cambyses II, decided to exploit Egypt's sacred animals, cats. Egypt, as you know, revered these creatures, especially the goddess Bastet, associated with home and fertility. The Persians, knowing how important cats were to the Egyptians, used them in battle. They carried the cats on their backs, they even tied them to their shields. The Egyptian soldiers couldn't harm the sacred animals, which caused chaos in their ranks. The Persians took full advantage of the situation, leading to a victory that may not have happened otherwise. A literal catastrophic strategy for the Egyptians. The Soviet officer who prevented World War III. In 1983, during the Cold War, the world was this close to disaster. A Soviet officer named Stanislav Petrov was on duty when an alarm went off, indicating that U.S. missiles had been launched. But here's the thing. Petrov didn't panic. He didn't follow protocol, which was to launch Soviet missiles in retaliation. Why? He thought the alarm was a false warning. Turns out, he was right. It was a glitch. Sunlight reflecting off clouds had tricked the satellites. Had Petrov followed orders, well, we might not be here today. Petrov saved the world by doing literally nothing. He kept his cool, and in doing so, prevented World War III. The Ottoman Coffee Ban. In the 1600s, Sultan Murad IV of the Ottoman Empire banned coffee, fearing it was a threat to political stability. Coffee houses were hotbeds of political discussion, which Murad saw as dangerous. His punishment for anyone caught drinking coffee? Beheading. Murad even disguised himself to patrol the streets and personally enforce the ban. Ironically, he secretly drank coffee in private. After his reign, the ban faded, but for a time, sipping coffee in the empire was literally a matter of life and death. The Sultan's coffee obsession and hypocrisy made his ban one of the most bizarre laws in history. The War of the Oaken Bucket. This war was fought over a wooden bucket in 1325. The story goes that two cities, Medina and Bologna, were already rivals, but the tension hit a boiling point when some soldiers from Medina snuck into Bologna and stole a bucket from a well. Bologna demanded it back, and when Medina refused, Bologna declared war. So, Bologna amassed a massive army. Medina, the underdogs, had only a fraction of that. But guess what? The Medinis won. They even stole a second bucket, and they still have the bucket today, displayed proudly. The Emu War in Australia. The Emu War in Australia happened in 1932, after World War I, when returning soldiers were given land to farm. Problem was, 20,000 emus decided they were going to move into the area and feast on all the crops. The soldiers were armed with machine guns. They had 10,000 rounds of ammo. What could go wrong? They couldn't hit emus. The emus, so much faster and smarter than expected, just zigzagged away. The soldiers couldn't get a clean shot. It became a complete disaster. The emus outwitted them. After weeks of failure, the soldiers gave up. Some said the emus had the invulnerability of tanks. Yeah, that's right. The emus won. A hilarious yet tragic defeat. The Cobra Bounty. Back in the British colonial days, there were too many cobras slithering around, and so the government decided to put a bounty on them. Sounds good, right? You kill a cobra, you get paid. The problem? People got creative. Instead of hunting wild cobras, some enterprising folks started breeding them. They started a cobra farm, made their own cobras, just to collect the reward. And when the government found out, they ended the scheme. When this happened, the people who had turned breeding cobras into a business had no need for these cobras anymore. So what did they do? Yep, set the cobras free. The cobra population exploded and was worse this time. And the whole plan? Well, it backfired big time. The Strange Case of Mr. and Mrs. Thomas B. Compson, 1873. In 1873, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas B. Compson stayed at the Victoria Hotel in Bristol. One evening, they reported hearing strange noises in their room and later claimed the floor opened up beneath them, nearly dragging them into a hole. They escaped through a window, but the police found nothing unusual. The couple was arrested for disorderly conduct, and during their trial, the landlady confirmed the strange noises. The court, after considering the couple's credible testimony, decided it was a collective hallucination. Other similar reports of inexplicable holes opening up in the ground have surfaced over time. The Straw Hat Riot of 1922. In the early 20th century, there was this unwritten rule. Men were not supposed to wear straw hats after September 15th. Apparently, wearing a straw hat after this date was a major faux pas. So, what happens when young men in New York decided to break this rule? Riots. That's right, a gang of hat smashers started attacking anyone still wearing a straw hat. And it escalated. Before long, massive street fights broke out across Manhattan. People were getting beaten up, and police had to step in. But here's the kicker. This whole fashion disaster went on for days. The Pig War, U.S. versus Britain. It all started back in 1859 on the San Juan Islands, a little patch of land between what's now Washington State and Canada. So both the U.S. and Britain thought they owned it because of a confusing treaty. Eventually, American farmers and British settlers moved in and tried to claim it. Tensions were high, but the real kicker came when one American farmer, Lyman Cutler, shot a pig that was eating his potatoes. The pig belonged to a British guy, and, well, let's just say things escalated quickly. The British demanded compensation. Cutler refused, and bam, U.S. troops led by Captain George Pickett showed up to protect the Americans, while the British sent warships with over 2,000 men. For weeks, the two sides just stared each other down, both armed to the teeth, ready for a war that never happened. In the end, what happened? Well, no shots were fired. The only casualty? Well, the poor pig. And the island was jointly occupied until things were sorted out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this.